we'll gather around, feel the love come down. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is part 5 in our whimsical water fountain series. I know you guys probably thought I forgot about it. I haven't. I'm just like really behind. Anyway, so this mold is the lily pad mold that came in the Resin Molds Express July box, and I thought that it actually would be perfect to add into this, right? So it wasn't a planned part of this at all, but we're going to do it today. And then I also have the little teeny tiny frog mold, which I thought would be a really, really cute added kind of bonus feature on it. So I decided that as opposed to resin, I want to use some mix to mold in this. Now I'm using green simply because I'm running very, very low on my white and I need that for the actual water fountain part itself. And I don't want to use that. So we're gonna use the green. It'll be a fine base color for what we're doing. We're gonna paint over it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I have no idea exactly how much this mold is going to take. So we're just gonna go with it, and hopefully I have enough here because this is all I have of the green. And I mean, if I have to mix colors, I will, but I'd rather not. So what I'm going for is a sort of thinner consistency. Now, granted, it is a 10-3 ratio. 10 parts of the powder to 3 parts water. If you've seen any of my videos before, I eyeball it. I know what the consistency is supposed to feel like, and I know the consistency that I want for this particular thing. Now, I don't need to make it super, super thin because there's not a whole lot of detail in either of these molds. Like, there's detail in the lily pad mold, don't get me wrong, but not like small detail. Does that make sense? So no like super small intricate areas that it needs to get into. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. The smallest thing that I need to worry about it flowing into are the arms and legs of the frog. But again, I don't foresee it being a super huge issue. Now, I am mixing it up really, really well. I ended up using all of what I had left of the green. We're going to go in, pour some of it into the big one, then go into the frog and kind of just pour it in there so it can start just to be in there and going into all of the areas and the bubbles can start coming up to the surface. And then I'm going to go in there with my scribe and I'm going to bash these molds around, tap them, pat them, all of the things to get the bubbles to raise to the top. So hopefully we don't have a lot of issues with bubbles settling on the bottom. Now, if you have never worked with a mix to mold resin-crete eco powder type medium before, it is not self-leveling like resin is. So you do need to go in there and you do need to move it around. It does thicken up fairly quickly. You don't have a lot of work time with it. You know, maybe a couple of minutes, and honestly, it depends on how thick it is that you're making it. With me making it a little bit on the thinner side, I do have slightly more work time, but now this isn't as thin as what I typically make it, so you can already see like it's thickening up, right? So I did have to pat it down once I scraped it into the lily pad mold just to get it to go down and even itself out, level out all of the things. Patting it around now, I am taking some time to make sure that it all gets into all of the fingers and toes and all of that of our little frog. I did go up underneath his chin a little bit just with my tool because it is an area, again, that bubbles are prone to, even in resin, are going to rise and kind of get stuck there. And then I'm just tapping it to get it to settle down, to get those bubbles to kind of like unlodge themselves from wherever they may be stuck and travel upwards. Because it cures so fast, you don't have the luxury of time for them to find their own way to the top. So you kind of got to make it happen, right? Now, this is actually the next day. You can demold in as little as 30 minutes. However, because of the frog and the thin pieces, I did want to wait until at least a day longer so that it has more of a chance for that water to evaporate and go away, and it'll make the piece stronger. That being said, that does not mean that these small pieces will not break off. If you put enough pressure on them, obviously they're going to, right? It's kind of like a ceramic type ish thing. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to be on the careful side with it. You can't demold it as hard as you would like if you were demolding resin, for instance. Okay. So you do need to be careful with it, which I'm being very careful with the little frog because of those thin pieces. And then what I'm going to do is, after I demold it, before I start painting, I am going to set these guys up on top of their mold, and I'm going to let them sit for another 24 hours just so that more of that water has a chance to find its way out. You can typically tell that it's not fully like, I don't want to say cured because it's cured, but that there's still water content in it that needs to evaporate by the feel of the eco, like the actual finished piece. Like, if it's cool, it'll even feel kind of damp to the touch. It still needs time to do its thing before you seal it in. Now, could I paint this now and just leave part of it open? Yes, I could. I have many times in the past, but I'm not going to with this. Now, the one thing that I will do before I let it set out is I am going to clean up the edges, and that is simply because it is easier at this state to clean them off. They'll break off a lot easier than if you wait until it's fully hardened. Once it's fully hardened, it becomes a little bit more difficult and you got to, work a little bit harder. So it's best that if you have areas that need to get cleaned off, and the deburring tool is great for this. It works probably better on this than it does on your resin, honestly. It just scrapes off all of those harsh parts, so you don't even really have to sand. Now, I did do this, like I said, first before it got super hard, and that's just because I don't want to have to fight with it later on. Okay, I let it set out. This is now 2 days after I've poured, and now it's time to paint. And I'm just going to bounce off while I go through the painting process. I will come back when we're ready to kind of put this all together, seal it up, all of that good stuff. But you don't need me to talk through the painting process. I am just using acrylic paints. And okay, I will be back when we are ready to seal this up.
Deep in the forest where the bass line hums, gnomes got rhythm, yeah, they bang them drums. Ooh, yeah. Tree frogs hopping on the lily pad stage, snails slide slow, but they on the parade. Oh, it's a world you've never known, where the moss glows bright and the magic's grown. Get down, get low, in the gnome groove galaxy. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, feel that funky fantasy. Get down, get low, let the rhythm set you free. This ain't no dream, it's the gnome groove galaxy. Toadstool tables, yeah, the party's alive. Mushroom lights flashing, the vibe's on overdrive. Frogs chirp melodies, snails bring the bass. Even the crickets can't keep up the pace. Spin around, do the spiral dance. Woo, woo. Snail trails shimmer like disco in a trance. Gnomes chant low, tree frogs leap high. The funk don't stop till the moon says bye-bye. Get down, get low, in the gnome groove galaxy. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, feel that funk vibe, his kingdom's grown. Moonlight paints the water chrome. Where the ripples hum, he's never alone. Jump, jump, little king, don't stop. Raindrops dance, make the rhythm pop. In this magical world where the nights never drag, grooving all night on your lily pad. Stars above, they blink and sink. Ponds a mirror edge of the brink. Fireflies glow like they're in the know. Tree frog rules where the soft winds blow. Oh, the breeze whispers secrets. Oh, the water holds the beats, yes. Jump, jump, little king, don't stop. Raindrops dance, make the rhythm pop. In this magical world where the nights never drag, grooving all night on your lily pad. Baseline ripples through the reeds. Frogs eyes shine, no one leads. Magic spills from the velvet dark. A glowing pond, a frog's monarch. A little green rebel with a hop in his step on a lily pad stage where the water's kept. Gnome in a hat with a beer in his hand. Snails tapping shells like a one mollusk band. The moon's a disco ball, stars all aglow. The pond's alive with the froggy show. He's doing the jig, the froggy jig. Feet go small, then feet go big. Lily pad spins, the crowd goes wild. Even the cattails dance for a while. His legs kick high like a pogo spring. A cricket DJ
And I am back.
starts to spin.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I started doing this frog, I was getting really, really worried that I was not I was not happy with how he was turning out. It was just not working out how I wanted it to. However, once I started adding the metallic colors and I started just really getting into it, I think he turned out super cute. He did lose a couple of toes, unfortunately, but it's fine. He'll be fine. It's okay. All right, so I did let the paint dry for a good 24 hours before I sealed it just to make sure there's absolutely zero moisture in it whatsoever. Now I'm just taking some of the Buon Nicole's wax and I'm going over it. And I'm just going you're supposed to go in like a circular motion. It's kind of impossible, especially on the frog, and I am being very careful so I don't break off any more appendages from him. And that's it. I'm gonna do it, let it set for a little bit, do it again, and then buff it off, and hopefully this is sealed enough that the water won't affect it. I don't know, we'll find out when we get the finished piece all together. Okay, so I'm just wiping it off. Hopefully it's going to be sealed enough that it's not going to do anything, like no water's going to seep into it. I mean, I did put quite a bit on it. I wasn't very, like I put a good bit on there. So hopefully we won't have any issues with water getting into any of the areas. I mean, the frog was a little bit harder to do just because of the small areas, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we put it all together. Now, after I'm done kind of buffing it out, I do want the frog kind of set up there and stuck there. So I'm going to get some E6000 glue and glue it on. And then, I don't know, like I've not ever done this before, especially never after sealing it. So I'm hoping that the wax that I put on won't like keep the glue from holding it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in time. But I did add quite a good bit of E6000 to the edge of the lily pad and then stuck my frog on there. Now, I did prop him up so because he kept wanting to fall because he's a little unbalanced. So I just stuck a little piece up underneath his front leg and let that dry for a good 24 hours. Anyway, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you on Thursday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Blue elephant is strong. Together we belong. In every comment right, you lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue elephant crew, this one's all for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care. Likes and shares, they grow. You make the channel